name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich, and today my guest is Max Bendich. Hey,
How
Pop.
are you, my son?
Hey,
My
how are
darling
you?
son.
Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling.
Oh, my darling.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good, Pop. I'm very good. Like things for me have been going so well lately. I mean, I'm living my dream, and I'm making connections with people who are very interested in my work, and life is really good. How's things with you?
So, how can I say anything different? When I hear that,
Yes,
I feel terrific.
that's good.
The whole thing is, every now and then, we don't talk about Mom so much. Every now and then I said, Mom should have been here. And we, a long
You know what?
time-
And Dad, you asked earlier. I'll let you keep on going, but when in between, because we just did another show. But when I was thinking, I said maybe we should talk about Mom, because that was something I thought. And then you just brought her up.
So again, the whole thing about with Mom, she was interested in that the family should be together, Alan. We did our best to try to keep the family together, and we succeeded. But when we think about how we lived, I mean, we talked about it.
No, but it's okay. Talk some more.
And I was on his way. I'm telling you, we talked about it. We're going to be talking some more and everything else. And where we are now, and where all of us are now. And again, I'll even add on my two brothers. And I see what's happening in Cathay House. Now, Cathay House is, you know...
Cathay House is where you live, right? It's
Yes.
It's an independent living
And then it's an independent living
facility.
facility.
Residence, I'm sorry. Independent living residence.
All right.
Right.
Yeah. And once you're there, you might as well say you're going to stay there forever. There's no reason why they shouldn't. And we looked at the other two. There are two places in the neighborhood. And when I don't do anything against them, they're terrific. They have to be there. But the whole difference between everything else, there is no difference. No difference.
Oh, there is one difference.
Oh,
The money.
again, I don't
That's the
understand.
difference.
Yeah, well, I'm going to
Because
say.
some are much more expensive.
Except for the money part. I don't understand why, again, people are dressed better in the other two places. They look better. They run everything. And then compared to us, we are the same person in a wheelchair. We're the same person on a walker. We're the same person. There was no other difference, Alan. There's no. We like each other. We hate each other. And to get friends, they tried 4 people at a table, and even then, sometimes those 4 people that can't get along with each other. Right?
And let me say something about that too, because yesterday I talked about it earlier. Yesterday I went to this affair about I guess it's the New York Restoration Project.
Right.
And I had a very good seat. I was like the front row. Like I had a table, and at my table was a billionaire. You know, he's one of our. You know, whatever. He's one of our or whatever. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but and there was Bette Midler there. There was Cynthia Nixon there. There was Marlo Thomas, and everybody's a person. You know, you see all these stars, and they're just doing the same thing we do we're at my annual benefit. Everybody does the same thing. They're just human beings. And, you know, I mean, these people have all this money and they have all this fame, but they're getting older, you know, and, you know, the shine is getting off it a little bit. You know, people are getting older. And like you say, you look at these two different places, Cathay House and the other place, it's exactly the same. People are the same.
People are the same, Alan. People are all over the world, you can say, all over the world. What do they want? I'm positive, again, they want peace in the world. They want peace. They figured out that they can't, and some of them, they should figure it out. Why are they here? Why are they in a place like this? And it isn't a nursing home. I said, again, I forgot.
It's an assisted living. No, it's an independent living.
It's independent living.
Right.
The children can't take care of the parents.
It's true.
It's a normal thing. The children have a family of their own. They have to go to work, and they have to do this, and they have to take care of their parents. And I mean, because of that, excuse me, and because after taking care of the parents, there's guilt. There's a guilt
Oh,
feeling.
it's unbelievable.
Right. There shouldn't be, right? But there's a guilt feeling. Am I doing the best by doing this? Am I doing this? I can't. It's impossible. And we're not talking about financial help now.
Right.
We're talking about the actual helping of them, because they go to work. How about that? Put somebody else in the house. Who knows what's going to happen between? You wonder. You keep on wondering about your parents, and it's normal. It's the normal thing. Your parents brought you up.
Right.
Love, and then the actual leaving. And so what do? I became a tumbler. I realized what was happening, and I realized there shouldn't be any guilt, because what was happening, you can't help it. It has to be that way, and that's it. So they come in. If they come in with a chair, no one talks to them. Normal. It's very difficult. I once told somebody, you're in the elevator with somebody, say hello, but she's a nice, good-looking lady, and you're going to say, you want to say something to her. It doesn't happen. Alan, it doesn't happen. But finally, if you joke around, things like that, you meet each other in the elevator, on a dance floor, and I'm a guy who decided I kid around with everybody. And Alan, I think I told you this before in the early, but I have to tell you again. Now just imagine this happening. So I see some of the management people who are coming in with new people, and one of them is a lady or a man, doesn't make any difference, in a chair. The father or the mother, and we're talking, and they know already what I'm going to do with the management. And I go, and I say, how are you? Hey, this is something okay, everything new. But if it's the woman, it's something else, by herself. And what do? To make her laugh even, to make her, she can give me a crack in the face after I'll turn her, as I look, I turn around one way, I turn around the other way. Nobody here? Good. If I'm not near the one I love the one I'm near. I put my on top. They're social, but they laugh. Right. Everybody knows that I'm going to be doing it, and I even wear a hat. Right? They changed my name. Right. I'm two names. I'm the actor. Many of them envy me, and I said, no. Before I'm going from one thing to the other.
It's wonderful.
Alan, one thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think, and what I notice, there's always going to be room for older people in a movie, and the older person. Now, an older person can play a part of a younger person. They change them. No,
right, they can.
But a younger person is impossible to become an older person, and when I go to these schools. I told you Columbia I go to, the acting school on 160th Street in Broadway, and I go down to 23rd Street to NYU, or the other one right near the bridge that's going to Staten Island. Right. There are schools there, and they're all young people. And I spoke to a few of them, and they said, maybe I said, I spoke to the wrong people. I said, aren't there any scenes in any movies that older people should do? They said there are many, but they can't find the right one. Except one time, Alan, I think I was with you. Yes. We're on the Grand Concourse. We're driving, and we go into the guy, and the guy, you're 90? You're a little too old for us.
That was the first time, that was the first time I heard
right?
that. That's it, absolutely.
You were a little...
But when you audition, though, and you do well, everyone's like always, they can't believe that you're doing it, that you're a person who's doing it. It's like it's beyond their comprehension. First of all, for a person to be as alive as you are at 99 years old. I mean, to them, 99. What is that? That's like.
There's a difference then between them and me. 99 means like the apex. You're the oldest guy, and I even took away a few things from a lady. One of the things was she had her 100th birthday. She had her 100th birthday, so they came together, they had a good time. And I heard her say something. Hey, kid, to a guy who was about 95 years.
That's funny.
I said to the one over to the lady, I'm going to take that away from you. I'm going to say use that same word when I see these old people, and I'm going to say, hey, kid, look, why don't you do something like this? And what did I find out? I did it, and they enjoyed it. They said, that's right. Compared to you, I'm a kid.
That's it.
And Alan, at least I found out something that I could help somebody else. And
that's good. What else is there in life, right? I mean, especially where you live, there's so many opportunities to help people because no one does it. Because the staff doesn't do it. I mean, they try. You have nice staff, but a person could be just alone and staff doesn't do anything about it.
the staff is great.
Right, they are good people. I like the people at your staff.
Again, the person in charge,
Yes,
she's by herself all the time.
that's it.
In a little office, and every now and then, no one. All right, she gets the telephone calls and everything else, and I'm positive that's the same way in all the places.
Right.
She's in charge, and she gets. She walks around sometimes and says hello to this person and this one, and she feels good, but she feels bad also. What did she notice? Empty chairs. There are more. There's room for more, and well, look.
Is it that they're upstairs or the place is empty?
No, actually empty.
So there's a lot of vacancies in Cathay House?
Well, I don't want to say that.
Oh, okay, sorry. Forget I said that on TV.
I don't want to say that. And not only where we are, in all the places. And we, look, I'll give you a little rundown.
Yes.
Mom and I. So I made up my mind that we're going to live in one of these places. So we went to 3 of them. No
Right.
names, no nothing.
Right.
The first one we went to, we knew was a little expensive because we read about it and everything else. And what did we see? Individual crowds of 3 and 4 or 2. Instead of people being together, they weren't. That was the first time we ever went to a place like this. And we also saw something else, that they were the children. No, very few times will you see actually children, and we have many times you see children over there.
Right.
We had the children that are, again, they are working. Their children have to go to school. Who knows what they do, who's taking care of them. So, and they're the same thing that happened in this one, and in the other one, and where we are.
Right.
And they gave you a meal. To sit down and the same meal that the people were having,
Right.
at the same time in the dining room. And we noticed something else. That those were the more expensive. They come down, they're a little dressed, they come down, big deal. No, really, all right, no power to them. They're dressed and they sit. Also, I think they were sitting at that table, so we have 4.
Right.
But what were they?
I'll talk for a second, because same thing. Like my mother-in-law's in another place, a different
Yes,
place.
I know that.
And you were there last week for her 90th birthday. But you go there, and the people are dressed nicer. But I remember even when Mommy and when you guys moved to Cathay House, Mom went shopping with Mimi, to get, because she wanted to upgrade her wardrobe, just so, because, you guys worked all the time. You really didn't socialize this much, and then you have opportunities now to socialize. So she wanted to get dressed up a little bit.
That's it. We didn't socialize.
Right, but then they have, to live at Cathay House, to really live, you have to socialize.
And then to I either heard of it, or we joined a senior center.
Right.
Now, many people don't even really know what senior centers are.
Right.
Quite a few of them know what they are, and they also did. And with senior centers, it's a start to know that you are a senior, you are,
And you have entitlements.
and you have, now what entitlements? The food that they got was almost for nothing. They're subsidized by the city. We had, in the beginning, our center had only lunch and dinner, and no breakfast. I was the president at that time, and I used to fight. A wonderful lady, and I still had a fight with her. Everybody's having breakfast now, and finally she says to me, Max, you want breakfast? Run it. Fine. And from the, now look, breakfast. So I was in charge at the time of the kitchen, so I knew how much oatmeal was there, how much coffee, how many, and there was a beautiful breakfast. And at that time, it was only a quarter or whatever, even cheaper than a quarter, I don't know. And for the meal, it was a half $1. And we advertised that through the whole place. The very first day, there were about 6 people. 6 people going for breakfast.
And how much food did you have? Enough for everybody.
Enough for everybody, all right, right. But they didn't understand it. But they were watching how these 6 people, and eating, and the next time there were about 70. Alan, what a difference between one and the other, and it became a success. And Alan, that was even Mom used to say, how did we ever find a place like this?
And also, I know that you worked hard. You used to go there every morning to work. I know.
That's right. Alan, but again.
But it wasn't, I know, you don't complain. It wasn't like, oh, I'm working hard. It was
right.
like, you do it.
And something, wait, what other thing did I do? I took care of myself.
I know.
I lived on Mickle Avenue at my own house. And almost every day, I would walk, Alan, from Mickle Avenue to Co-op City. Right. And in Co-op City, I would sit down, usually in a Burger King, and I had brought a cup of hot coffee. Right. I'll tell you, it was open. And I would get a refill, and many times I get the 3rd refill, take it home with me, and I come back again with the same cup. No, again, only,
it's okay, it's a statute of limitations. They're not going to come after you.
And it was kind of cheap, right. But it gave me an incentive to do walking. And what else did I do? I picked up bottles, and I picked up this, and I made myself $1, I made myself a few extra dollars. Mom was happy about that. Either because she got rid of me or for anything else.
But you did a lot of exercise. That was one thing.
And that, when I think of it, Al.
And Mom used to walk too. Mom did the same thing.
Again,
I know.
many times she would walk to the center. Alan,
I know. But then she started falling.
No, well.
And that was the beginning of.
No, but what kind of fun did we have? We had fun.
I know.
We would go to synagogues or churches
that had bazaars.
And they had bazaars.
I know.
And Alan,
I used to take me. I used to love going to bazaars.
I don't remember.
I remember the records. I remember the toys, the clothes.
Oh, everything.
It was great. You go there, and everything was so discounted. It was unbelievable.
Well, again, I'll even go back. We talked about that many times. World War II. Yes. When I found Cecile, the 10-year-old, 50, I don't know, as a very young girl,
right.
in a detention center, or whatever you want to call them, and it was about a mile. Those centers were barracks, and they were about a mile long, and I went over. I met her, and I had been good with. I always try to be good with the chef. Right. I would call the Jewish cook. Why? I would get vinegar. Alan, I know my mother would put vinegar in a salad. Right. In a salad.
And that was not, I mean, they do it now, but they didn't do that in your days.
Never.
Right.
But I had to go to this guy, this farmer, and we used to take the apples from the orchard, but we paid him in different ways. He liked our cigarettes or our whiskey, and at that time, something called Calvados. Calvados is a liquor drink, and they don't drink milk. What were they drinking? The children also, this Calvados. And anyway, that was part of my life. And we would go to bazaars, Alan. And when I wrote to Mom, and I said, look, they need clothing, she used to go to the bazaar. Alan, she used to buy almost every dress, a half $1, a quarter, and things like that.
Right.
Now, what these girls would do, and the package would come that big,
Right.
and I would bring it over to them. And what do they do? Either they sold it on the black market,
Right.
or they sold it to their friends, or they kept it for themselves. And that's how these children.
Well, Mommy was good.
Mom was good, and I was lucky. Again, we talked about it.
Talk some more.
This is a year ago. You said Mom was good. I believe now, and I always in my life will do it, second chance.
That's it.
Alan, a second chance. If you only knew him. I'm talking now to the person in the camera. We had a little club room about as big as this place, and we would find, and right near here on 7 West Burnside, and there were about 10 lofts, 10 little lofts, 10 places on 7 West Burnside, and each one had a little club. We had about 6 or 7 people, friends, and we got furniture. Where did we get this kind of furniture? People threw it out. No, really.
Well, no, not this kind of
I don't
furniture.
care. People threw out, and many times on the west side they would throw it out, and we would get pushed. We did our best. Not only us, most of those young guys. You
recycled.
We went and we made a little club room, and Alan, when I think about it,
Second chances.
and we played dance music. Everybody had records. I had folk music. Alan, I had folk music, and I also had classical music. You named a folk singer, I had that.
Paul Robeson.
Paul Robeson, Phil Oakes.
No, Phil Oakes was not. He was in the '60s, so you had to.
Oh, Phil Oakes was in the '60s.
So it had to be Pete Seeger,
Right.
Woody Guthrie.
Pete Seeger, Woody Guthrie.
Yeah, but
Little boy, how old are you?
that's it. Lead Belly.
Lead Belly.
Sonny Terry, Brownie McGee.
One of the songs we were singing at that time was the Ballad for Americans. Maybe you heard of it.
Paul Robeson's version.
In '76, the sky was red.
Right.
All right, this song. And 2 girls came over, stood in the doorway, and listened to the record. I said, I know I'm repeating.
Please,
this
repeat
was
it.
This was a good time in my life.
Right.
And what happened? They would the girls did that. They would listen to the music, they even dance music. They would come in and dance with you, usually for 2 dances, and they would go to the next one. Or they would go, or if they never came back again, or whatever it was, that's how things were.
Right.
And here we were listening to, a little earlier, usually let's say it's 8 o'clock where they come, or 7 o'clock. This must have been about 6. And we were, at that time, I listened to my records, Ballad for Americans. These 2 girls come in. No, they stood at the door, and they're singing the part. They were happy about it. And my friends are hollering, "Get them off! They want to dance, and they want to." And finally, I was going to, "Please, we want to listen to it." Right?
Oh, that's nice.
Right. And then they left. All right. And then when it came to dance, a little later, they came again. Right. And we danced with them, and we danced two. Alan, I still don't understand. We danced 2 dances, and everybody did the same thing. They would either wait for somebody else or they would leave. They left. That girl, my friend said, that girl became my wife. And what we talked about, how was it that I was able to leave her to go without I don't know why, but she came back.
That's it.
And when she came back the second time, my friend said, I never danced with anybody.
Well, you know something? One of the themes for Scriptless was supposed to be second chances, but and it will be. That's going to be one, because everything in that show about Scriptless has something to do with us, the family, us. And even Aaron noticed that a couple of the characters are, if you put them together, you might have me or you or something like that. But second chances, That's what it's all about, because if you don't have second chances, then you might as well just forget about everything.
And again, how did I know I should stay with her? What happened in those few moments? And it was magic. That's the whole thing. And now,
And look what happened since. I mean, your great-grandfather, and they're all such beautiful children, and your grandfather. And now, even though you're a great-grandfather, you found a new career. I mean, life, you're still living, you know what I mean? You're still living.
Alan, that new career, I'll never...
That's
I
it.
I can live to be 120, as I say, to 120. How was I able, even with your encouragement and with your this, and it was that, to go in, never had spoke a line, and I just never did things like that.
And now it's what you do. See, the other thing is like anything else in life, right? It's like you don't think you could do it, then you're doing it, and then it becomes what you do. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like you don't have to. I mean, just like coming here, it's easy, but in the beginning it wasn't easy just to have these conversations. And the same thing with Scriptless. And I think you get, if you don't know how to do it, you can't do it. But if you know how to do it, then you could do it, right?
And what can we thank? You.
Okay.
You are the one. No, okay.
You have a drink. Well, I wanted you to do it because I knew you wanted to do it. You were an actor in the assisted living facilities. I mean, there's so many things in the world you want to do, and there's always just one thing you don't want to do, Dad. You know what that is? You know what it is?
You know what?
When I have to say these last few words all the time. Okay?
And I know what they're going to be.
And then let me say it.
I know it.
Okay? That's a wrap. Good night, folks.